大家好，你吃饭了? Hi, I'm John, and this is John Just Cooks Chinese. And today, for our first ever video, I'm going to be doing something very special. I'm going to be making pork soup dumplings, prawn and pea dumplings, and to go on the side with some basmati rice, I'm going to have some stir-fried cai, which is actually a kind of lettuce, but it's better for cooking. There's a lot of history behind these dishes. Cai is from the family that's called, I think, Wozhen, which with the stem, which is called Wosun or Qingsun, and the leaves are either called Choy in Cantonese or Cai in Mandarin, which I speak. I don't speak Cantonese. Soup dumplings or tangba originate in the Kaifeng area, which in the past, in the Song dynasty of China, was called Bianjing. However, in 1127, they were attacked by the Jin dynasty, which off the top of my head was from the north in Mongolia. And after that, the people spread around, and so the soup dumplings spread around as well. The way they're made is you mix pork gelatin, like sort of fatty, goopy, bone brothy stuff, with the mince so that it melts during cooking, and it will come out nice and juicy. Then I'm doing pork and pea dumplings. They're called jiaozi, which is like, actually jiao is like corn, but it means dumpling. I'm not making them totally from scratch. I'm mixing the ingredients, but I did buy the wrappers. And then stir fry is just easy, and I do prefer to use basmati rice, which we'll be having on the side, just because it's a lower glycemic index, and I love the smell. It's fragrant like jasmine rice, and it doesn't, give you huge GI problems. Alright, so we have the ingredients for the soup dumplings here, for the tangbao. I've got this pork mince. It's a little bit old, it's still good, but I just want to use it up. You know what pork mince is like. I just got that from the supermarket. Then I have this pork jelly. You might not be able to see it the best. It doesn't look the most appetizing, but last night I made a delicious pig's trotter soup, just for my friend who wasn't feeling very well, and this is like the leftover. And so there's a lot of collagen, there's a lot of good protein, yummy fat in the pig's trotters. So it's stewed out and in the fridge overnight. It's settled. We want to keep this cold right up until we put the dumplings in the steamer, just so it doesn't melt and go everywhere. Then we've got just a little bit of ginger for a bit of flavor, chicken powder, I love MSG, white pepper, dumpling wrappers, and a spring onion. All right, here we have the ingredients for the prawn and pea dumplings. I've got some little prawns. I actually just got these off a friend today out of her freezer. Same with the peas. I love frozen peas, but I ran out in my own freezer. Some garlic, some white pepper, spring onion, and my dumpling wrappers. And then I'm just gonna do them in my beautiful little 7-inch steamer that I got from my local Asian grocery store. They're cheap as chips. This one, like 2 layers, $12, like no worries. And that's like actually not a good price either. Like you could get a bigger one for cheaper. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mash these up a bit and just mix it up and put them in the dumpling wrappers, and of course I'll show you that bit as well. All right, now for our vegetable stir fry. We have a few more ingredients. Okay, this is the cai. It's a little bit brown and wilty, but it's the best I could get. I'm just gonna cut off the brown bits, but I'm not too picky, like Chinese people traditionally, they had to cook with what they had. Okay, that's where the huge regional variations in cuisine comes from, they were cooking with what they could get to. So I've got this, it's a bit drippy, that's why it's on the tea towel. I only just washed it. I've got some lovely daikon, like some radish. This is the end bit. It's a bit peppery down in the root, peppery and sweet in the middle, and lovely and sweet, like you can eat it raw, at the top. Then I've got a shallot, some ginger, some garlic, chicken powder, another spring onion, Sichuan pepper. This is such a great way to elevate your cooking. It's just this lovely sort of numb flavor, but it's actually kind of just, if you put in like 5 or 6 in a dish, it actually makes it a bit sweeter and it's lovely. Sesame seeds, we're gonna roast these just before we start cooking the cai, and that adds a lovely, delicious umami flavor. I've got some light soy sauce. This is an essential for everything you cook. Some cooking wine. This is better for like a light green vegetable. You put it in at the end. Okay, this is lower alcohol content. This is clear wine. You put it in later, or you use it in pickles or salads or whatever. A lot of people know Shaoxing cooking wine, and that is stronger, it's more yellow, it's really sort of more rough, robust smell and flavor, and that goes in earlier. You can just put it in and it won't cook off straight away. I've got some Zhenjiang vinegar. It's often romanized as Qingqiang, but it's pronounced Zhenjiang in Mandarin. And this is lovely, beautiful. This is very popular in Shanghai. And actually, when we eat the dumplings, the soup dumplings later, we're going to be dipping them in a little bit of this with some soy sauce, because that's just the way they do it in Shanghai. And then I have sesame oil, and this, it's kind of like bay leaf in Chinese cuisine, and you add it in everything. No one really knows what it does, but it really just provides that extra kick to everything you eat. Alright, so now we have all our ingredients up on the table. I really didn't want to cook on the floor, it would just be a mess. I didn't have my lovely tablecloth on the coffee table. We're just going to start mixing up the ingredients for the prawn and pea dumplings. One thing I forgot to mention before is we're just going to put a tiny bit of flour, or you can use potato starch, cornstarch, something like that. Just to thicken it up a bit so it's more like a paste and not just these ingredients. I've got the peas in the bowl here. I tried to smash them with the potato masher. It didn't really work, so they're kind of half whole, half smashed. What I'm going to do, I might not do it on camera because it'll be a bit gross, but I'm going to mince up the prawns just with the knife and the garlic, and cut up the spring onion into little pieces, and then I'll show you again when we're mixing it all up. Alright, so I've just roughly chopped all the garlic and the spring onions and the prawns up. It's all in there, the pepper, everything, and the flour. And we're just going to mix it up and hope that it turns out well. So some of the moisture from the peas and the prawns is going to come out and sort of gloop up with the flour, which is what we want. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be tiny, you know, you're not a chef. Maybe you are, but you know, it's not restaurant quality. You know, we're making food for our family and our friends. So yeah, it's just getting a bit glooped up, which is fine, it's beautiful. And you just want it all to be evenly mixed together. Alright, so we're just going to start assembling the dumplings. I've just split the wrappers in half, so the other half can be for the pork soup dumplings. This is the little test one, I just needed to make sure I could do it. It's not that even, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, so the way you make them is you get your little wrapper in your hand. I'm just going to get a little spoonful of the mixture, smooth it out a bit. Then I got my little tin of water, just trace a circle around the edge so it sticks together, and then do a pinch on one side, pinch on the other. You might just have to press the mixture down with your fingers. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, beauty is often found in imperfection. And then we have a beautiful little triangle. And then we're just going to load them up into our steamer. You can use the metal one, but I like the bamboo one because I like the fragrance. And then they're ready to cook, just like this. Alright, this is exciting now. I've got the spring onions, the ginger, the flour, the chicken powder, and the pork mince in the bowl. And we're going to add the gelatin. I'm relying on my experience here, okay? It's a little bit nerve-wracking. I hope this isn't too much, but this is what I have. And I've heard it's a good tip when you're dealing with minced pork. Maybe this is different because it's been in the fridge a little longer, it's a bit drier. But it's good if you only stir in one direction, because it's supposed to line up the fibers and just make it a bit more softer. I don't know where that comes from, I just heard it. Just breaking up the lumps. It smells really good. It smells so awesome. And that should be good. Right, so we have it all mixed up now, and we're just going to show you how to do the basic shape. These ones, they do have to be sealed quite well, just because there is liquid inside them and it's all going to come out. It is a bit hard to spoon though. I don't know how they do it in the restaurants. I was going to try and do the proper xiaolong bao shape, like the rounded, like the little balls with the creases. It didn't really work for me, so I think I have the wrong wrappers for that. So I'm just gonna do this more basic shape. So you can just fold it in half like this. And then just to keep some of the liquid in, I'm gonna do like a little S fold like this so the ends are up a bit. And you can see, I think it's just very cutesy and demure. Like I'd put that in my mouth. And then here's a couple I've already made. All right, it's very messy. We had a little bit of trouble. You can see some of them are a bit squishier than others. I wish they were a little bit prettier. We're just about to load them up into the steamer to steam. And I have heaps of mix. This is actually quite good. I have heaps of mix left over for next time. I'm probably just gonna put it in the freezer and get it out when I want to. Then I have these beautiful prawn ones. Look, they're kind of, I think they're beautiful. And they have just come out of the steamer. Amazing. These are actually really good. You can taste the garlic, you can taste the prawn. Peas are good. They're gonna be great for dinner. All right, now for the rice. I'm using this beautiful basmati rice, AAA apparently. And I'm gonna do a bit more. There's 2 people having dinner tonight. I'm gonna do 4 cups though, because I wanna make some fried rice tomorrow. All right, and I always wash my rice just because there's all sorts of, there's arsenic, there's pesticides, it's really gross. And also it makes it less sticky, so you have lovely fluffy rice. I'm a big fan of basmati rice. Of course, when I use sushi rice when I make sushi, that sort of thing. But it's lovely and fragrant like jasmine rice, and it's a lot better for you. So like there's a big trend right now, everyone's eating brown rice. But basmati rice, I think it's just as good for you, and you don't have to worry about, the horrible, yucky, brown texture. It's gross. Yeah, and I'm just gonna wash it. I'm not gonna show you because it's gonna be a bit loud. All right, so the pork dumplings have just come out of the steamer. Some of them are a little leaky, and that's not great, but at the end of the day, they're just going in my mouth anyway. So I think they're gonna be delicious. Then over here, we're all set up to start cooking. Okay, Chinese food like stir frying works at very high heats. Like some of them in like professional kitchens, like chefs, the woks will be red hot. It's quite dangerous. But so you want to have everything ready. Over here, you can see I've already chopped everything up. I've just julienned spring onions, shallots, ginger, garlic, daikon, and the yolmatsai, the Celtuce. Celtuce is like the Western name for like the savory lettuce. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the stove and get out a wooden spoon. Because I live in a flat, I don't have a wok burner, which is a shame. I'd love to have one, or an electric wok. But this frying pan's quite big, so it doesn't really matter. Then I'm just gonna bring over all my ingredients so that it's really ready to go as soon as possible. And just before I start, I'm going to heat up the pan with the sesame seeds and the Sichuan pepper. Like it's maybe just half a tablespoon of sesame seeds.
Cut that out.
No. We'll keep that in. And just 15, 20 Sichuan peppercorns. And just as the wok heats up, it's going to reach a temperature where they start to brown and toast, and I'll just put them back in the bowl to go in at the end. I think I'm going to do a voiceover for the actual cooking because it's going to be very loud and very quick. But I'll take you through what we're going to do. Once these have toasted a bit and they go back in the bowl, I'm going to add in just some normal cooking oil. I use sunflower oil into the pan, and then I'm going to add the ginger, the garlic, the shallots first. Oh wow, that's really nice. The Sichuan peppercorns, the smell's starting to come out. Then, after I'm done with that, after they're browned up a bit crispy, I'm going to add in the radish because it's a bit thicker than the lettuce. So it'll take it longer to cook. Then I'm going to add in a bit of, just a tiny, just a teaspoon of the doenjang vinegar. Then a little bit of soy sauce. Then I'm going to add in the lettuce. That's going to cook very quickly. It's going to cook in under a minute. Then at the end, I'm going to add in the cooking wine and the spring onions. And just a teaspoon of this chicken powder. And then I'm going to add in the spring onions and the sesame oil and serve. Then dinner's going to be ready. And you can't see this right now, it's on the floor, it's a bit messy. But the rice cooker is boiling away. It's gonna be done very soon. It smells amazing. Oh, there it is. A lot of people put in extras into their thing, like ginger, spring onion, sesame oil, or even like Chinese sausage, like it's kind of like a tiny little salami. It's called la chong, or in Cantonese it's lap chong. I'm not doing that today just because I made extra rice to reuse. I just want it to be as versatile as possible. Alright, now you can see I'm pouring the oil into the pan. It's really hot, the pan's already hot, so it spreads out like that easily. It starts to polymerize. Then I'm putting in the ginger, the garlic, and the echallots. See, straight away it's already sizzling because it's so hot in there. And you really have to keep it moving. You should always really be moving your food around in the wok or the pan while you're cooking it, while you're stir frying. That's how you get the wok hei, the breath of the wok, or in Mandarin it's the huoqi. Alright, then it's just starting to crisp up a bit. Yep, keeping it spread out, keeping it spread out. Alright, now I'm going to put in the daikon. It's easier to do this in a bigger wok, in a big proper wok that moves more freely on a wok burner with the big ladle, the big scoop. But it's really important, like it's really good if you can get air time on your food. So pushing it back. Now I'm reaching for the Zhenjiang vinegar, and that'll go in and it'll start sizzling straight away. The smell fills the room and it goes brown. See, like the daikon has gone brown immediately. So that just gets absorbed straight in, and it doesn't taste like when you eat it, when it's cooked, it doesn't really taste like vinegar, but it does add a really amazing flavor. It really is crucial, I think, in this dish. And then in the white pepper goes with it. Now I'm adding in the yomai, and that really is, it's like kind of like spinach in that it really will start to wilt immediately. Now for the light soy sauce, a fair bit. I mean, it's you can overdo it, but I think it also is quite easy to underdo it. See, now you can really see it with the addition of that liquid that it is wilting quite fast. The water is being sucked out and evaporated from the vegetation. In with the spring onions. I normally add them quite fairly later if I am doing something like this, just because they do have quite a sensitive flavor and it will burn off quickly. You might have seen just then I just sort of crushed a little big chunk of the yomai just to break it up, so it was a smaller piece. I added in the mijo, the cooking wine, and this really is like the end point of cooking. So in with the sesame seeds and the Sichuan pepper that I've already roasted, just until the sesame seeds are a light brown. You don't want the Sichuan peppercorn to burn. You don't want it to burn. And a fair bit of chicken powder like the MSG just really adds a nice flavor. It's really umami and savory and delicious. And then I'm going to add in the sesame oil and it'll be done. See, I've turned off the stove there and I am probably going to move the pan after I've dished it up just because I really don't want um, the keldas to keep cooking because it can actually get a lot worse. So it's actually quite good if you can take it off the stove just a little bit before it's done because it will continue to cook from the residual heat. All right, this is the top tick. I did it a little bit late, but what you want to do is fluff up your rice as soon as it finishes cooking. Okay, so mine has a hot cook setting and a warm setting. It's quite old, so I'm actually going to turn it off at the wall, just so it doesn't keep cooking and scorch from the bottom. But just fluffing your rice straight away means that it's so much nicer when you get to eat it, which is for us now. All right, it's all here, it's all on the table, it looks amazing. Just to recap, we have the daikon and the yolmaicai, the Celtuce, the lettuce, the savory lettuce stir fry. Tastes amazing. The prawn and pea dumplings, the beautiful little star triangle things. And then my pork soup dumplings and the dipping sauce. And I'm just serving this on some white basmati rice with a glass of water with my cute little chopsticks and chopstick holder ducky sets. All right, let's have a little taste. It's incredible. The yolmaicai has a delicious sort of nutty flavour. The daikon adds a lovely texture. I can taste the ginger, I can taste the garlic, I can taste the Sichuan peppercorn. It's really good. The rice, it's so simple, it's one ingredient, it's very delicate, it's very fragrant though. It's really beautiful. That's good, that's good. I can definitely taste the soup I had last night for dinner, but it also has its own new flavour. It's beautiful, it's a little bit sweet, it's mostly savoury. It's great texture, it's perfectly cooked, I must say. And the sauce really adds a lot, which is nice. The prawn and pea is quite good. Maybe I could have used a little less pea next time and a bit more prawn. A little bit chewy, but they're quite good. The ginger, the garlic, it's really strong, it's lovely. Yeah, I think overall it's an amazing dinner. It's quite simple. I mean, obviously I made the dumplings from scratch minus the wrappers, so it took a little bit longer. I mean, frozen ones for a normal dinner would be fine, like who cares? Like no one's watching you in a home, hopefully. And I'll just finish off this segment just quickly with a tip, which is you'd never want to stick your chopsticks into your rice like this, because it symbolises death. So if you can put them down, you can put them down on the holder or on top of the bowl, flat like this. Enjoy your meal. All right, just to recap, tonight we made the pork soup dumplings, the tangbao, the zhu roll pork meat, tangbao soup dumpling. We made the pea and prawn jiaozi, the dumplings. I don't know how to say pea and prawn in Chinese. Xia is prawn. And then we also made that beautiful, beautiful daikon, the radish, and the yolmaicai, the savoury lettuce stir fry. It was amazing. Now, I think that was my favourite part of the entire meal, if I'm being perfectly honest. And then we had some beautiful basmati rice. I really hope that you enjoyed watching the video today. If you did, you can leave a like and a little comment and maybe subscribe. I think I make a lot of Chinese food, like, almost every night. So I'll probably be posting a fair few videos on here. And I know for a fact in the future, I will be making one where I do 4 whole steamed fishes with ginger and spring onions. It's going to be amazing. It's a family recipe. I hope you have a nice day or a night wherever you are, and I hope you continue watching. Thank you.